#1 on Juggernaut LE. This is Vindicta versus AqueroN. Grandmaster versus Grandmaster. Amazing great player versus amazing great player. Terran versus Terran. AqueroN will be like Protoss. This is going to be a Protoss versus Terran. He's going to give a try to the easier tools. Legendary. I love AqueroN. Absolute legend. Absolute madman. Absolute Chad of StarCraft 2. He's been playing Protoss. And Vindicta is going to be playing Terran. In the bottom left, the Red Terran from the United States of America. It's Vindicta. And in the top right, the green Protoss from Spain. It's AqueroN. And they're speaking Spanish to each other. I don't know what that means. No hablo español. Solo parlo italiano. Non capisco. It's funny that both casters of this event speak Italian, both me and Acontistes. Out of both of them, it's going to be standard. AqueroN is going for the easier tools, as he likes to say. Or as Marine Lord likes to say. And this is the first Protoss match I'm casting today, and as a Protoss player, I'll be more familiar with what's going on, thankfully. So, the build is Nexus before Cyber for AqueroN, so there's really not going to be any aggression out of AqueroN. It's just going to be very standard macro type stuff, which is also coming out of Vindicta. Again, nothing out of the ordinary. At least nothing out of the ordinary yet. Let's see what this first unit will be for AqueroN. Just gonna go for a Stalker. So yeah, everything is very stock standard PvT gameplay. Very clean from both players. AqueroN, despite being a pro level Terran, he's still a very high GM Protoss. It's because Protoss has easier tools. And Hellions are what's going to come out of the factory for Vindicta. So going to try to get some damage with that. And there's 2 Reapers now. Out comes the battery, but these 2 Reapers really aren't going to do much against 2 Stalkers, especially when there's a shield battery coming out on the way. And the reactor goes up on the barracks. Starport's up. Tech lab on the factory. And the Twilight Council is the tech of choice for AqueroN. So it looks like he will be going for a blink play. He will not be able to get up there because of the Reaper wall. And these Stalkers are going to push back the Hellions, so AqueroN's defense has been airtight so far. Let's see what he can do with these blink Stalkers once he gets lit up. And he already takes out that Hellion, so he's playing very well. Now out comes Blink, of course, out of Vindicta. We've got a starport on the way, and the starport is making a Viking. And the factory is producing a siege tank. So, again, it's just standard. And now, these Reapers are going to get in, but they're not going to get any kills. It's that shield, that heroic shield battery. And let's see what these 4 stalkers are able to do. There's a bunker and a siege tank, so they should not be able to do much damage. And AqueroN's just going to get right out of there. Plop down his robotics facility. And it looks like we're going to get into a macro game on both sides. Raven is the starport unit of choice from Vindicta. We'll see what he decides to do with it. And this Viking is just going to patrol, try to stop any drops from coming out. The third base comes up for AqueroN, which is very standard timing. Blink is about 2/3 of the way finished now. We can use the warp in stalkers. I'm sure out of this robo we'll get a warp prism. He's gonna try to blink into the main. And this is what that Viking's there for. Try to stop that warp prism from coming. Let's see what these stalkers can do. No, it's not a warp prism, it's an observer. But the observer can still do the job of letting the stalkers blink into the main. And the forge comes out for upgrades as well. +1. He's on the way for Vindicta. So it looks like we're just gonna get into a bio game from Vindicta. More barracks come down. Let's see how long it takes for him to get up his third base. He's gonna bring his army into the main. Now the bunker plus the tanks, the tank on the high ground. It's a very airtight defense from Vindicta. These blink stalkers are not gonna be able to get in. So AqueroN's content with just getting probes up on his third base. He's gonna get charge and +1 armor. Very standard Protoss things, and this charge is gonna allow him to build a less fragile army than stalkers are. Now he is able to get that Viking with a blink. That was a pretty good move there from AqueroN. And just say he has easier tools. And now his unit of choice is the Zealot. Still no third base out from Vindicta, but rather he's sending a Raven. This Raven looks like it might go for some harass, as well as making Widow Mines and Medevacs. He's going to go for that Widow Mine drop. Is the armory out for the Cloak Widow Mines? There is no armory for the Cloak Widow Mines yet. I wonder if Vindicta will try to push. Here comes the third base from Vindicta, 6:30. AqueroN, he's placing those batteries, those tools, at his third. And here comes the drop from Vindicta. The drop is Marines, Marauders, and Marines and Marauders. No Widow Mines in the drop just yet. As these stalkers are just waiting outside to pounce on anything. And these auto turrets are going to try to deal some damage, but AqueroN's mostly defending it well. This auto turret gets 2 kills, but that's not really too much. As AqueroN still leads by 10 workers. But let's see what this aggression from Vindicta can get done. Because AqueroN, he's just making a lot of charge zealots. He has no splash damage. It's just zealots, an immortal, his blink stalkers, and that's it. But as the push is coming out from Vindicta, the army supply is almost even. You can see these charge zealots are just going to get on top and destroy the tanks. But Vindicta is able to kite back with this bio. And a nice anti-armor missile from that Raven. But it looks like AqueroN will have enough to hold, especially considering his batteries and his blink stalkers as well. But he's only producing probes. Look at all that production that's coming out from Vindicta. Vindicta, despite being behind 10 workers, and his third base, just finally getting up with that orbital. He's making Widow Mines. He's getting upgrades. He's getting up. Now, he only has 1 engineering bay, it looks like, so he's only getting 1 upgrade at a time. And AqueroN, he has an upgrade, but he isn't even researching anymore. So let's see if this push can get any damage done. He's just getting more gateways on the way. And still no 4th out for AqueroN, but it's not like he needs it, because the 3rd is just finally coming down. And there is a Warp Prism ready to pounce, but Vindicta had that missile turret ready to defend it. And this Liberator is going to try to do some damage on the other side of the map. We know Vindicta loves his Liberators from his games against Demi. The Ghost Academy has just finished. So it's Ghost is the choice for Vindicta, and Ghosts are very good, especially with their EMP ability against looking for us. Oh! That single Marine, that single hero Marine is going to take down that Warp Prism before all those Charge Zealots can get warped in, and AqueroN's push is going to get pushed away by the bio of Vindicta out of his third base. And the Liberators are here, but the Liberators are just not going to get anything done because of the shield batteries and the blink stalkers of AqueroN. These Liberators are dead. Now, AqueroN continues to produce probes, getting oversaturated with still no. He's finally going to put down his fourth base. Let's see how much damage this drop can get done. And Widow Mines and Rings and Marauders in it. Finally, the second forge is going down. So, AqueroN, he's going to be producing 2 upgrades at a time, or only 1 upgrade at a time. For Vindicta, and AqueroN's going to get an upgrade advantage. Let's see what this multi-prong attack from AqueroN can do. He's going to run by Zealots into the natural, while at the third he's going to attack with his Blinkstalker army. But the drop is going into the main of AqueroN, so this is going to be sort of a base trade. And the third is forced to lift for Vindicta. Let's see how much damage this drop can get done in the main. Will it be able to deny the upgrade? I don't think so. So plus, now they both have 1-1. And 6 workers go down for Vindicta. Meanwhile, in the main, AqueroN destroys the forge. He's building a missile turret. Let's see what this bio can get done. A nice Widow Mine hit. These Widow Mines are doing a lot, but the surrounded Charge Zealots is going to force Vindicta to pick up eventually. Unless... Okay, so he killed the Charge Zealots, but now these Blink Stalkers are going to force him to go away, but they will not kill any of the medevacs. And this Widow Mine is just sitting there. It's going to get some damage on it. And now the push is at the third base for Vindicta. Let's see how much damage he can get done here. Will he be able to get some workers? Looks like it. These Widow Mines are doing a good amount of damage. And let's see how... Anti-armor missile doesn't hit very well. 4 workers go down. Nice Widow Mine hit. And Vindicta, despite being down in workers, he's up in army supply, and he's just continuing producing army and army. And finally, the Colossi are coming out 2 at a time for AqueroN. So these Colossi are going to be able to do a lot, unless this Raven can disable them. Is the Raven still alive? The Raven is dead. Let's see if this push can deal enough damage now. Shield batteries are gone. And this third base is going to go down, by the looks of it. And that's a nice EMP. The shields are gone, so Vindicta's going to jump on top of AqueroN's army. But it doesn't look like it's enough right now. I think he's going to try to focus down the base and get out. But these Widow Mines are doing a lot of damage, actually. And the third base goes down. Now, of course, the fourth base is now online, but the fourth base is not saturated, so the workers from the third will probably just go to the fourth. And now we'll see Vindicta start to produce Vikings to try to counter these Colossi. And these... Look at that. He doesn't blink away in time, and these Widow Mines. 3 kills, 6 kills, 1 kill, 3 kills. That's a lot of kills for all the Widow Mines combined. Is there even an observer? There's 2 observers, but apparently they haven't been where the Widow Mines are, because the Widow Mines are dealing a lot of damage to AqueroN's army. And Vindicta is finally getting up his 4th base as well. So Vindicta, he might be able to pull ahead in the economic. And here comes the push with 2 Vikings and Ghosts with EMP. And the Enhanced Chocolates is out as well as the next upgrade. He's ahead in upgrade against AqueroN. Now across the map, a Zealot run by is going to take down 6 workers and possibly even more. That's going to force the liftoff on that base, and the army of Vindicta is going to have to pull back. It's a very successful run by. Despite 9 workers going down to the Widow Mine drop from Vindicta in the 4th base. These Widow Mines have been getting a lot of damage done. But 2-3 is on the way, but an AqueroN, despite having 2 forges... Never mind, he only has 1 forge because one of the forges died. But despite having a forge, and having 2 forges for a while, he has not been getting upgrades, so he's going to be on 1-1. Vindicta is going to have a 3 upgrade advantage, which is really big in PvT. As well as having a 4th base up. So now Vindicta is up in arm, but not up. The army is even. The workers are practically even. But Vindicta is up a base, and that's a planetary as well. And he has mules. Now out come the disruptors. These widow mines. They get 2 more workers. They just keep on dealing damage. Now Vindicta has a pretty nice 5-worker lead. They're gonna catch these zealots as well. They're gonna get recalled in time, so only 2 of them will go down. But it's been a very successful turn of events for Vindicta. He's put himself definitively ahead in the game, and he's now getting +3. And the only thing AqueroN is producing right now is disruptors, and he's supply blocked as well. You can't make any more disruptors when he's supply blocked. He's still not making upgrades either. So this will be a powerful push from Vindicta. But we all know that some good disruptor shots can change the game drastically. Is Vindicta going to doom drop? It looks like that's what will happen. And we have the units coming into the main base. That's a big drop. A lot of units in there. And this extra group of units might go for a multi-prong as well. Very well played from Vindicta. He's making Liberators again. And we all know Liberators are good against Disruptors. This first Disruptor is going to get an alright hit, or a few kills. It's not do that much damage. These Vikings are just going to rain terror. They destroy every Colossus. Now they can't do much against the ground army, so Vindicta's going to have to pick up. But now Vindicta takes a pretty nice army supply lead, especially when this little army group comes in. But at the same time, the other side of the map, these Zealots are wreaking havoc. These charge Zealots killed 15 SCVs. Now the worker count is even. Very back and forth, very close game from AqueroN and Vindicta. I'm loving it. But AqueroN still is not getting up the 4th base. Still is not getting another upgrade. He's been on 1-1. Essentially this entire game, and now there are Liberators out. Are splits versus Disruptors good? Oh, that was a very nice Disruptor hit. And these Disruptors are going to deal a lot of damage to Vindicta's army. Seems like Vindicta's Disruptor splits aren't good enough against the tools of AqueroN. But Vindicta, he's just getting ahead when he's up a base. He's finally gonna rebuild that 4th base. But look at that. No 4th base for you. Look at that. Boom. I guess the base does get up. And let's see how much damage this push is gonna get. These Immortals are standing strong against the bio. But these EMPs are gonna do a lot, and these Liberators as well. Let's see how well this Disruptor hits. Wow. Great play from Vindicta right there. He lifts up the units in the medevac so they don't get hit by Disruptors. Very well played. These Vikings are going to try to deal some counter damage. These Charge Zealots are already there, though. They're going to get a few workers. And it's just basically AqueroN's choice is just to make Disruptors. And Disruptors are very good, but these Liberators are going to do a lot. Oh! That was a beautiful play from Vindicta. That Disruptor was about to get a very juicy shot, but he focused on the Disruptor just in time, and the Disruptor died before it could get his shot off. Now let's see if these Liberators can do well. This push, these Charge Zealots are going to get right on top of those SCVs, and a bunch of SCVs are going to die. And a nice Disruptor hit on the Ghosts. These Disruptors are dealing a lot of damage right now. To workers and to army units. So 10 SCVs have gone down. And AqueroN is back in the army supply advantage and the worker advantage. Now imagine how AqueroN would be doing right now if he had 3 upgrades. But look at that, Fusion Core looks like probably for advanced ballistics on these Liberators. And a nice EMP. Those Disruptors are going to get targeted down. That's a very nice Disruptor shot. These Disruptor hits have been very juicy. The ones that Vindicta hasn't been able to target down have been getting a lot of damage. And the workers are going to have to be pulled against these Blink Stalkers. But as the Liberators siege up, AqueroN will be forced back for the time being. Now AqueroN's up 10 army supply, but AqueroN's not producing, making more Charge Zealots. Imagine how much easier this would be for AqueroN if you set upgrades. He's gonna force the lift up on the third base yet again. He might even take it out with these blink stoppers. AqueroN is taking a commanding position in this game right now. Where there's 2 Liberators going across the map, and where do those 8 workers go down? 8 probes? Widow Mine got 14 kills with a Widow Mine as well. And now Vindicta's back up in worker supply. This is a crazy game, and he's getting siege tanks yet again. This is an amazing game. 20 minutes in, and we've got constant action. This is why I love StarCraft. Three more workers go down to that Widow Mine. This Vindicta's gonna head across the map to push. Let's see if he can do damage. Looks like he's gonna take down that 4th base. Oh, never mind. But that Widow Mine is gonna fire again, killing another worker. Vindicta kites back with all this bio. He takes the army supply advantage. He's up 11 workers. It's a very scrappy game. 20 minutes in, neither of them have 40 workers. These siege tanks are actually going to do very well against these stalkers now. This Vindicta's solidifying his lead. Imagine what AqueroN could be doing if he had more than 1-1 upgrades. It would really be a whole different game, I think. He still hasn't killed this Widow Mine, now with 19 kills. It's gonna be even more soon. Boom. 2 more kills. 21 kills on the Widow Mine. Will AqueroN notice? Or was it just gonna sit there the whole game? Imagine you got a Widow Mine to that mineral. And look at, here it comes. A drop into the main. It's gonna get spotted by this observer. But while Vindicta drops, AqueroN's gonna push across the map into the 3rd base of Vindicta. So let's see how much damage AqueroN's are gonna do. Now Vindicta's up 20 army supply, but a lot of his army supply is in the medevac, so he's gonna have to pull back for now. Let's see if pulling the boys can do anything. Now the drop in the main is gonna kill a lot of stuff. So it all just depends if Vindicta can hold that home. And with more reinforcements coming out, 20 workers have gone down, but he's only down 3 workers. He's up nearly 35 army supply. There was a single SCV attacking a pylon in AqueroN's 4th base. There's disruptors. The disruptors get taken out by these liberators. GG, Vindicta! What a beautiful game. That was an amazing game with constant action. Now we're going to go into game 2. Always close. That was awesome. GG. And we will be going into map 2. And map 2 will be Romanticide Ali. I also need a break after that match, but we're gonna be going into another one. Looks like they both hosted it. Wow, AqueroN is feeling so honored that I went with him. It looks like Vindicta's getting in our lobby, so we should be good to go. Ready to go. Game 2 on Romanticide. This is gonna be fun, everybody. Got a very big macro map. If that 20-minute game told you enough, this is gonna be epic. So here we load into Game 2 on Romanticide. AqueroN versus Vindicta. In the top left, the Spanish Terran, who's playing as Protoss because he wants to play with easier tools. It's AqueroN. And in the bottom right, the American Terran, who's actually playing Terran because he wants the challenge of playing Terran. It's Vindicta, the son of Cure, the greatest Terran to ever live. And look at that, there's an SCV coming out. We're gonna get some cheese, some proxy action in this game number 2. Let's see what the proxy is for Vindicta. And if AqueroN will sleuth out this cheese that Vindicta decided to go for. Proxy Thors, says Bibbs. I think that would be an absolutely legendary build. Oops, my phone fell on the ground. I think if Vindicta went Proxy Thors, I think it might be the best StarCraft match I've ever casted. And well, out comes Marine. And the proxy is a factory. Bibbs was correct. We just need to wait and see what comes out of that factory. Now, this Marine, every Protoss knows that if you see a Terran go Marine, you know it's sussy. You know it's sussy. And especially when you click on that add-on into Reactor, you know something's up. And AqueroN is gonna go Stargate and Adept, and looks like the proxy is making a Widow Mine. But an Armory is out, so Bibbs could be correct. This Armory could be for Thors, or it could be for Cloaked Widow Mines. Either could be the case. But now AqueroN, it looks like AqueroN's macroing up. He's making units. He's making probes. He's only in one gateway, I think. I'm getting the Stargate. Stargate does not do the greatest against Widow Mine drop. And Stargates don't do the greatest. And AqueroN goes for Phoenix. This is residue from when he was on Team Roddy. That's for sure. Because we all know Roddy loves his Phoenix. And Goblin, who's also on Team Roddy, goes Phoenix every game, so. Nope, the Tech Lab is coming onto the factory. So you know what this must mean, Bibbs. I think we're both right. Because I think it's going to be Widow Mine drop into Thor drop. Why not go for 1 when you can go for 2? But look at this. AqueroN is sending a Phoenix out on the map to scout. Will he spot it? There's 4 Marines. Doesn't look like he's gonna spot it. He's just gonna go to the base of Vindicta and see like, where's all the tech? I don't see any tech inside of your main base. It's kind of sus. I don't see any natural either. I only see Marines. Something's up, and out comes a Void Ray. Let's see what these Widow Mines. Oh, no pull on the probes. 5 probes. 11 probes go down to Widow Mines. And look, there's shield batteries coming up front, and a Void Ray. A Void Ray and batteries are not going to do anything against a Thor that's in your main base. That's for sure. Unless these Phoenix can get the medevac first. Absolute Chad. Vindicta's being an absolute Chad right now. And he's pulling 4 SCVs there as well. And the Widow Mines are still in the main too. The boys are pulled. The Marines are here. The Thor is in Chad mode. Vindicta needs to kill AqueroN here, or else he loses the game, essentially. He has to stop the easier tools, also called the Super Battery, that AqueroN switched to Protoss for. And the boys are pulled. The Stalkers, the Phoenix, the SCVs, they are going to clean up. 10 SCVs are down. The Thors and Marines are still alive. But it's a 14 worker advantage for AqueroN. Well, never mind. 5 workers just went down to that Widow Mine. But the army's just getting stronger. Now there's 2 Thors, but I guess we'll see if these 2 Thors can do enough. And a Liberator as well. Imagine if Vindicta can win this. I mean, this build sucks, what the fuck? Oh my god. Legendary moment. Absolute Chad. Question mark, question mark? Imagine if he still wins after saying this build sucks. 2 Thors are pretty good. The 2 batteries are also pretty good. Who has the better tools to win? Thors or the batteries? I guess we'll have to find out. This Liberator is doing some good damage as well. What a Chad. Matt, are these Thors gonna win? 6 more probes go down to the Widow Mine. This Widow Mine has 15 kills now. Vindicta, AqueroN, you need to get better at your Widow Mine defense. Now there's 3 Thors, but these probes are gonna get a full surround on the Thors, and the Thors are gonna fall one at a time. Absolutely ridiculous game. And all 3 Thors are dead. He picks up just in time. We're gonna go to game 3 after a failed cheese from Vindicta. Absolute legendary game. Best build of all time, I think. And we will be going on to game number 3 after that failed proxy Thor. Vindicta says it's ass. Beaten. And map 3 is 2,000 atmospheres. AqueroN Veto 2K. Miguel. I veto. Really? Absolute legendary moment right here. The potato says potato. It's oxide. Map 3 is oxide. Let's take a quick look at the updated bracket. Demi beat Jetrix, Exo Striker beat Nova, so we have Demi versus Exo Striker. And we're going into Oxide for game number 3 to finish it out. Here we go. Are you enjoying this? On Oxide LE, in the top right, it's Vindicta, the failed Proxy Thor legend. And in the bottom left, the Protoss, who's just a Terran sometimes, most of the time, it's AqueroN. I'm assuming we're going to get something more standard this game. But imagine what would have happened last game if it wasn't Proxy Thor, and Vindicta just stayed content with those 11 probe kills from those Widow Mines. I think Vindicta would have been far, far ahead that game. That's just my thoughts, though. This game, we're not going to get any proxies. No weird cheese. Doesn't look like it. AqueroN is going to get the building SCV with his scouting probe. Maldito. I love the banter between these guys. And AqueroN says Chobo. Oh, this is the banter between them. You can clearly tell they're friends. And now, AqueroN's probe is finally going to die to the Marine. And there's a reactor. Some of the Marine the reactor, you can tell something's kind of up. Maybe some sort of aggression. Or not. Larger range than a queen. I guess we have to check. Can somebody check for me if the Marine range or the Queen range is longer? AqueroN's gonna go for Stargate again, so he wants to go for the tools known as Void Rays, or an Oracle, or a Phoenix. Maybe he just wants to go for the same build that he did last game, that he wasn't able to fulfill because of the Proxy Thor. Maybe that's his plan. Let's see, that will not be able to get in. Nothing out of the ordinary from both players. It just seems like they're both macroing up. And out comes the Phoenix. So AqueroN will be going Phoenix. It's the Team Roddy residue, as I was talking about. And see what this Phoenix can see. Just barracks, combat shield, stim, the bio stuff. So nothing out of the ordinary from. And the second gateway comes down from AqueroN. So we are just gonna see a macro stage. They're both gonna get up their economies, their armies, and the game's gonna progress. AqueroN continues to get more Phoenixes. I think he might put down a Robo and go for Phoenix Colossus. That could very well happen. Wow, that's actually really good from Vindicta. He repaired the SCV so it didn't die to the Adept, and the Adept ends up not getting any kills. And here comes the Robo, so it looks like Phoenix Colossus will probably be what's out. And now Stim and Combat Shield both complete at the same time, and Vindicta's gonna head across the map with this kind of chunky Marine Marauder army to deal some damage. But there's already two shield tools in the Phoenixes, so I don't really think that Vindicta will do this much, especially because the energy for overcharge, which he does. So Vindicta's gonna pull back with his army, just get concussive shells, +1, starport, and gonna get up this reactor on the factory as well. All the Phoenix are across the map for AqueroN try to get some damage, and the robotics bay does come down, so Phoenix Colossus looks like that will be the build of choice. And these Phoenix not only are gonna see a lot, they're also gonna deal some pretty good SCV damage. There's 4 SCVs already, and probably will increase. About 7 workers have gone down to that Phoenix harassment. Now the hit squad is still on the other side of the map for AqueroN, so not AqueroN, Vindicta, trying to kill AqueroN, and I guess this hit squad is going to try to intercept the Phoenixes or something. As AqueroN finally takes his third base, and continue macroing up with the Forge, continue producing Phoenixes, and now that that robotics bay is complete, he'll probably start to make Colossi or Disruptors. And Colossi will be coming out. Vindicta's almost done with his +1. +1 is just starting for AqueroN. But it is a pretty strong army that AqueroN, and both AqueroN and Vindicta have very strong armies, so we'll be quite close between them. But Vindicta's just now getting up his third base. His third base is quite late, because AqueroN's third is pretty much done by now, and with already 4 shield batteries and a Colossus, I don't really know how much this push from Vindicta can do. Never mind, it's 2 shield batteries and 2 cannons. But still, very strong defense. And Vindicta looks like he's gonna have to pull back. And especially with that battery overcharge, even though all of AqueroN units are out of the range of the overcharge, it's just too much, and Vindicta's gonna have to pull back and just set up his Ghost Academy and try to go into the long game right here. It feels like another long game. I think it will be. Especially with the Ghost Academy going up. The Ghost is the sign of going into late game PvT. And these Phoenix are going to go out yet again, try to deal some more damage. The third base finally comes down for Vindicta at 8 minutes. No fourth for AqueroN just yet, but it might come down soon. With the Twilight Council, it'll probably get Blink or Charge, one of those basic upgrades. +1 completed as well. Vindicta has had the upgrade advantage for most of the game, just 1 minute in his favor. But Vindicta does only have 1 engineering bay, and AqueroN only has 1 forge. They'll only be producing 1 upgrade at a time rather than 2. Now, no thermal lance on the Colossi, and there's going to be 3 Colossi out, so no thermal lance is actually pretty big. AqueroN has been forgetting upgrades a lot this series. Like in game 1, he was on 1-1, Vindicta was nearly on 3-3. Finally gonna get +2 in charge. No thermal lance just yet. And looks like he's sending a probe to build a 4th base. Is he? I thought the probe was gonna go there. But no, it's just gonna be a spotter pylon. Okay. And the tank production and the ghost production is gonna be after Vindicta. He's prepping up his army for a late game composition. And that's a lot of Phoenix from AqueroN. So if he finds an opening, he'll be able to do a lot of damage with them. But that's only if he finds an opening. And finally, the extended thermal lance is going to be researched. Double robo from AqueroN, so he's definitely going to want to go into Colossi and Disruptors. And looks like Vindicta's going to bring his army across the map to push. The tanks are coming across, the ghosts are coming across. Let's see how well this Phoenix Colossus army does. That's a nice EMP taking the shield off a lot of the Protoss units. And now missile turrets are coming down, the tanks are sieging up. The missile turret is going to survive, it looks like. And now these tanks can just pummel away at these cannons and these static defense. The Phoenix are going to try to come from behind, but Vindicta's ready. He's going to place turrets all around that army. Here come the Phoenixes. The Phoenixes are going to start lifting up tanks and lifting up units while the Colossi and the Immortals come in. And they are going to melt this army. And it looks like AqueroN will hold, unless that was a nice... Vindicta takes a pretty big supply advantage right here. The tanks are continuing to siege and the reinforcements are coming in 2 Colossi at a time for AqueroN. But these Colossi will melt to these ghosts with EMP. Enhanced Shockwave, I believe, has been researched, and it has, and there's Liberators out. Continue producing tanks, Marauders, Vikings even now, and these missile turrets too, which can hit Colossi. It's +2 versus 1-1, and Colossi benefit a lot from upgrades. But that's 6 Colossi. 1, 2, 3. That's 6 Colossi. That's the MC build from Heart of the Swarm. MC6 Colossi. That's what AqueroN's going for right now. But will it be enough to take down these tanks? There's a battery overcharge, but pretty soon they'll be out of the range. And there's just not enough meat. There's not enough chunk. There's not enough core in the army to defend these fragile Colossi from these tanks. And now, the first Liberator sieges up. And if the Colossi walk into those circles of death, there's no coming back for them. This push keeps on getting stronger and more sieged. This position is so fortified for AqueroN, for Vindicta. And all the Phoenix are gone. There's really no flanking that can be done because these rocks are still there. 3 Archons are on the way, and Archons are going to be good against this. But I don't think will be enough as more and more tanks come in. The siege position and the base is being attacked. AqueroN might need to sacrifice the base. He's going to push. He's going to try to push it back. There is no battery overcharge. These Archons are doing good damage. But you look, the army supply is just 50 supply and an advantage of Vindicta, and GG. Vindicta takes game number 2, and he's going to head to the finals.